Good evening and welcome to State of Business on Art Television. I am Tamiru Nimsat. Let's have a look at the headlines. Economic Transformation Bill will strengthen the country's economy, President says. Government plans to double the rice harvest within few years. News in detail. President Ranil Wickremesinghe said that the forthcoming Economic Transformation Bill will provide the institutional framework for economic growth driven by non-debt creating foreign exchange inflows and the export of goods and services. President Wickremesinghe said this making a special statement in Parliament today.
In the past, Sri Lanka's economic growth was dominated by the non-tradable sector. During this period, particularly post-war, the economy expanded, but tax revenues and exports as a share of GDP declined. The capacity to service debt continued to diminish. To reverse the trend, we must transform Sri Lanka into an economy where growth is driven by non-debt creating foreign exchange inflows. Exports of goods, export of services, and foreign direct investment must be the leading drivers of growth in the economy. In parallel, the fiscal, monetary, state-owned enterprise and other reforms must continue in parallel to ensure that fiscal and external buffers remain robust. A combination of strong revenues and robust foreign exchange balances are critical to ensure Sri Lanka's capacity to service the debt. The Economic Transformation Bill embodies all of these critical factors. It provides the institutional framework to support the growth of exports and FDI in the economy. The bill also provides the macroeconomic targets that will enable continued economic stability and sustainable, inclusive economic growth. Purposeful implementation of measures incorporated in the Economic Transformation Bill will create the required economic conditions that enable Sri Lanka to truly benefit from relief created by restructuring or debt.
Speaking further in Parliament, President Wickremesinghe said that the government aims to achieve a high growth trajectory of 7% GDP per annum continuously for the next 2 decades. He said that Vietnam has been able to multiply their GDP by 4 times by following the same high growth trajectory, and the necessary policy changes must be implemented to achieve this feat and make the future generation wealthy.
What Sri Lanka requires now is a high growth trajectory. A high growth trajectory of 7% GDP per annum. It may be high by Sri Lankan standards. We have stayed at 4 and 5. But Vietnam and all have showed that you can go at 7. If you do 2 decades of 7% growth, our GDP will go from about 85 billion US to about 350 billion US. 4 times. So are we always going to stay poor? Our policy is to stay poor. Shouldn't we have policies which will make us rich, not us, the future generation rich? In 2 decades, we won't be there. They will be there. We have to make them rich. So that is certainly what we should follow. And I ask this House and all political parties to get into a high growth policies and let's compete with each other on that. We can't go with low growth. We can't go on this journey any further. Therefore, while today is a major landmark and cause for celebration, it is by no means allow us to be complacent as a nation. The successful conclusion of the official debt restructuring should give us the confidence and encouragement to move forward on this path of economic recovery towards the goal of a prosperous, inclusive and sustainable economy, a high growth economy with a minimum of 7% growth per year.
The Committee on Public Finance has approved the Telecommunications Amendment Bill aimed at revising the Sri Lanka Telecommunications Act. The approval was granted during a committee meeting chaired by MP Dr. Harsha De Silva at the Parliament premises recently. The meeting saw the participation of officials from the Attorney General's Department, the Ministry of Technology, the Telecommunication Regulatory Commission and other key institutions. The committee chair, Dr. Harsha De Silva, said that amending the Telecommunications Act is crucial to keep up with global technical trends. Dr. De Silva noted that the amended bill introduces a competitive mechanism for telecommunication frequencies aiming to create a fairer market for consumers. It also includes 3 new types of licenses in addition to the existing ones, allowing infrastructure providers to be licensed and strengthening the powers of the Telecommunication Regulatory Commission. Additional measures include provisions for the security of undersea telecommunication cables and enhancements to the regulatory framework. The committee chair emphasized the need for Sri Lanka to leverage advancements in telecommunication technology through updated legislation. Stay tuned. We will return after this short commercial break. Welcome back after the break. Minister of Transport, Highways and Mass Media, Dr. Bandula Gunawardena, emphasized that the IMF agreement is crucial for preparing the 2025 budget. He said the upcoming budget will include essential provisions for public servant salaries, pensions and social welfare benefits. Speaking at a news conference at the Presidential Media Center recently, Minister Gunawardena highlighted the importance of adhering to the current economic program carried out by the government. The minister detailed the efforts made to secure a loan agreement with the IMF which extends until 2027, ensuring Sri Lanka's ability to manage its imports and stabilize the economy. Minister Gunawardena also highlighted the projected budget deficits and the need to access international markets to issue sovereign bonds. To meet these financial challenges, Sri Lanka must increase its foreign reserves to $14 billion by 2027, up from the current $5.5 billion. He also urged Parliament to back the extended credit facility, warning that opposing it would be seen as a betrayal to the nation. Dr. Gunawardena further called on all citizens to support the government's economic policies to create a stable and prosperous future for the next generations. Secretary to the Ministry of Agriculture and Plantation, Janaka Dharmakirti, announced that necessary measures are in place to achieve the government's goal of doubling the rice harvest within the next 6 harvest seasons. This announcement came during a press briefing titled 2 Years of Progress and Advancement at the Presidential Media Center yesterday. Dharmakirti highlighted the introduction of a comprehensive technical package aimed at modernizing agriculture and meeting the increasing food demand through innovative methods. The Ministry of Agriculture has implemented various measures to achieve this goal, including utilizing old paddy fields, even those previously fallow, and introducing advanced farming technologies. The Secretary emphasized that while the Ministry cannot directly control paddy prices, the government aims to maintain fair pricing in an open economy. Significant budget allocations have been made to support agricultural modernization, including 2,500 million rupees for interest-free loans and youth agricultural entrepreneurship projects. Dharmakirti also discussed efforts to target international markets for agricultural products, particularly fruit crops, and the establishment of cold storage facilities to reduce crop losses. Speaking at the press conference, Director General of the Department of Agriculture, Dr. Kamini Ranatunga, and Director General of the Department of Animal Production and Health, Dr. Hemali Kotalavala, spoke about the recent advancements in agricultural technology and livestock sector development. The officials disclosed that efforts are underway to increase milk production and support farmers through modern agricultural practices and financial subsidies. They said that the ministry is working with the Ministry of Transport to use the railway service to minimize post-harvest damage. The Ministry of Agriculture is committed to transforming farmers into entrepreneurs and enhancing food production efficiency. The officials further noted that the programs like the Sustainable Garden Initiative aim to create 1 million gardens focused on commercial crop production. Stay tuned for the stock update. Trading at Colombo Stock Exchange ended on positive notes today. The all share price index gained by 41.8 points to close at 12,118.29 and the S&P SL 20 gained by 8.18 to close at 3,574.01. The turnover was 1.10 billion rupees and almost 61 billion shares were traded. Up next are forex rates. That's all our news for today. For this and more, subscribe to our channel on YouTube and follow us on Facebook. Take care and good night.